bring in retired U.S. Army National Guard Major General John F. King. General, good morning to you, sir. Let me just read part of this. The Washington Post is reporting that some Iranian protesters feel betrayed that President Trump did not yet launch strikes targeting their government. Others are wondering if this pause is a bluff as the USS Lincoln nears the region. What's your read on the situation, sir?
Good morning, Marky. The read is clear that all the assets are not in place yet to be able to do any kind of strikes. And of course, Arab leaders in the region have urged the administration and President Trump to give diplomacy a little bit more time. I know that's not a lot of consolation to the thousands of Iranians who have suffered as the brutal attacks that have taken place in the streets of Iran.
Mm-hmm. Has Trump missed the window to strike? If he was going to, should that have happened last week instead? And if he has missed the window, is that a good thing or a bad thing from your point of view?
I think this was deliberately set in motion. The assets are not in the region yet to make sure that success. Many of these forces will move out of Venezuela, out of South America, because they're very specialized units. And so I don't think they missed. I think they're setting the conditions to make sure that whatever actions take place are successful.
Meanwhile, I wanted to pick your brain on this, too. A former nuclear weapons inspector in Iraq telling the AP that he worries that Iran's highly enriched uranium stockpile there will be stolen or fall into the wrong hands if the government is toppled. How much volatility do you expect if regime change is, in fact, pursued and achieved?
I think that's one of the primary concerns that not only the United States and the allies in the region have in mind, to make sure that if there's a regime change, I mean, there's no way the regime can stay in power with the thousands and thousands of Iranians they have murdered on the streets. It's just, it's unsustainable. And of course, America, Israel, our Arab leaders, Turkey, all those intelligence agencies are keeping a very close eye on all those nuclear products.
Yeah. And then, of course, big question is who would run Iran if the regime is toppled, and what does that look like afterwards? Iranian officials also reportedly looking at restoring internet access. They've had that blackout there, possibly here within the next few days, bringing everybody back online. What will you be zeroing in on when we can finally get some new reporting on the ground, sir?
Well, that's one of the key components here. When they did the blackout, is to be able to conceal the amount of violence and destruction that's taking place in the streets. I just don't know how that's going to be, that concern is going to be relieved. Once the images start coming back, we will see. And of course, our intelligence agencies with Elon Musk's devices out there in the region are also transmitting right now.
And just a few seconds left before I let you go. Today marks 1 year since Trump has been back in office. From your military lens and perspective, are we safer as a country with him at the helm?
I think our capabilities are a lot stronger. We have a lot of clarity in the world. There's no room for misinterpreting, America's resolve. When President Trump says he's going to do something, he's very likely going to do it, and people ought to take him at his word.
Major General John F. King, thank you for your time this morning, sir.
Thank you, Marky.
Have a great day.